It's just performed flawlessly. Absolutely love it. And if you get one of these, you won't be disappointed. YouTube, Ant-Man Moto here. Hopefully you can hear me. I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing. 500 subscribers, 500 plus now. So thank you. I don't know what to say. I'm a little speechless. My hope is to grow the channel and maybe put something on here that's worth watching. Maybe my grandson Kenji can watch one day and go, that's what that guy was about. I don't know if I want to make my channel about necessarily doing the most wild, craziest riding, because, you know, I'm kind of slowing down from that, but just, I like to ride. This bike is built to ride and ride hard. I try to do that, but I also realize there's laws and there's, you know, chaos that can be created by one of these things. So, you know, I try not to be like a super squid. It's not going to be the wildest riding you've ever seen, but you know how I ride. I think I do a decent job on this bike. I think I ride it the way it was intended to be ridden for the most part. So anyway, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the comments. I really appreciate the comments. It feels like I'm engaging with people. Like there's an audience that's actually engaging with me, and I'm just blown away by that. I love it. I've never really had much of an audience in life before, you know? I've kind of always done things low-key, like solo, kind of on my own. I have my own business, but it's just me. It's a one-man show. I like sports that involve one person. I don't really like team sports, you know. I like motorcycle racing of all kinds. And believe it or not, I love surfing, bro. I'm a surfer. Yeah, I used to surf back in Los Angeles, California. So, you know, Kelly Slater, I'm sure you know who that is. Mr. 9 times, 10 times, one of the two. He's won it so many times. And he's like just a little bit younger than me. So, yeah, I like my individual sports, and I obviously love riding. It makes riding right up my alley. You know, I started riding one of these when I was like, I want to say 11 or 12. Mainly rode dirt bikes. All in the beginning, it was all dirt bikes. It was all in the fields behind my house. We had these oil fields behind my house, and there's always a hole cut in the fence. A fresh hole was always cut in the fence. And we used to go out there with our BMX bicycles, our mongooses, and our diamond, what were those called? Diamondback bikes, Schwinn's, when Schwinn was like a really killer brand to have. Redline, I know you remember the Redline bikes. We used to ride them Redlines. Every once in a while somebody would show up on an XR75 or an RM80, and you know, that's when the bug hit. When I started smelling that two-stroke gas, you know, that two-stroke smoke, that's when the fangs went, and I was like hooked after that. And I got my first bike when I was like 14. My dad got me an RM125. It was like a 1980 model. It's just in my blood. Riding is just in my blood. I can't help it. It's just like something I do, and I just love it. This bike here, I pretty much view it as the ultimate machine. It's been very good to me, and it's exceeded my expectations. The Aprilia Tuono factory. What you have to do with these factories is you have to keep good tires on them. So I keep the Pirelli Super Corsa SPV3s on here, or the SC3s, which is the track tire that doesn't need warmers. Yeah, it's exceeded my expectations, It's been to the Dragon a few times. It's been on the Skyway a couple of times. It's been on the track a few times. And it's just performed flawlessly. Absolutely love it. And if you get one of these, you won't be disappointed. These are an amazing machine. Thanks again for the subscription. Thank you again for the comments. Thank you again for the likes. Thank you again for the love. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna try to give some decent videos. I've been a little uninspired lately. I don't know why that is, but I just, I've kind of like the stuff I've recorded hasn't really been great, and I don't just want to put something up because I filmed. I'd like it to be entertaining. I like it to be somewhat entertaining. So I've got a track day coming up. I'm going to film that. Me and Cam are riding intermediate group. We're back in our normal group. So no more of that novice group silliness. It makes no sense, and it's really dangerous. I'm sure it scares the hell out of the new riders out there. We're going to be at CMP, Carolina Motorsports Park in Kershaw, South Carolina on the 19th. Hopefully the weather will be like this or some form of like this. Probably a little cooler. But we did one last year in November and it was nice. It was like, I don't know, 75 degrees and perfect like this all day. So fingers crossed, that's what we got coming. I'm going to try to be creative, and I've got some ideas about like interviews and like different stuff like that. You've seen it all about this bike, so reviewing this bike I feel is a little redundant. I feel like the Aprilia Tuono is a well-known machine at this point. Everybody knows what it does and knows the spec, and these bikes are pretty reliable. You're going to start getting some long-term reviews out of these because people that own them just ride them. The main thing you got to deal with is the service. Like when it's time to adjust the valves, you got to have that done. That's at every 12,000. But other than that, you can just ride the damn thing. I have not had one problem with this bike. So I've put about 8,000 miles on this bike in a year. So far so good. Aprilia Tuono. It's got all the torque. It's got all the character. It's got the sound. It's got the race experience. You feel like you're on a byproduct of a racing bike. You can feel the MotoGP in this thing. You can hear it, the way it snaps and crackles and pops on D-cell, and it just snarls, and it shakes its head under acceleration sometimes, and not shaking it in something's wrong, but shaking it as in just the velocity that it's carrying. It's kind of like a bull, it just does that. I love it. So good brakes. Just keep some good sticky tires on it and keep your oil changed and keep it serviced. Of course, keep your chain clean and lubed. I clean my chain like pretty much after every ride. I wipe it down. Yeah, and you'll have no problem. So thanks again, Ant-Man Moto here. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get in front of the camera for a change. I never do that because I just hate the way I look, but I mean, sometimes you gotta step out there. And but I'll see you on the next one. Let me put the helmet on and do what we're used to doing, which is riding now. And I'll see you on the next one. By the way, this bike was serviced. Ignore that wrench. It just came back on because I brought it in before the service interval, and they can't reset it until it comes on. So I said, just bring it back in and we'll reset it. Like, can't you just turn the thing off? Jeez. ride the torque wave.